There are some massive updates in regard to the E. Jean Carroll Trump defamation and rape civil trial that's going on in New York that I want to update you on. Today in court has been a huge day, and so that's what I want to focus in on for this segment. In case you haven't been keeping up with the trial, though, to quickly summarize what the last few days have held, E. Jean Carroll has been on the stand providing her testimony about what she's alleging happened. And as a reminder as to what this case is all about, this is from ABC News. Carroll, who brought the lawsuit in November, alleges that Trump defamed her in a 2022 Truth Social post by calling her allegations a hoax and a lie and saying this woman is not my type, which is just him saying that he would rape someone who is his type. Disgusting. When he denied her claim that Trump raped her in a Bergdorf Goodman department store dressing room in the 1990s. She added a charge of battery under a recently adopted New York law that allows adult survivors of sexual abuse to sue their alleged attacker regardless of the statute of limitations. Trump has denied all allegations that he raped Carroll or defamed her. It's important to emphasize this is a civil trial, not a criminal trial, so Trump couldn't be arrested because of this, but may have to pay out money to E. Jean Carroll. It does also mean, though, the jury doesn't have to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. They just have to find it based on the evidence more likely that he did what he's being accused of than not. And he's being accused of, as was mentioned in that article, approaching E. Jean Carroll in a Bergdorf Goodman department store in the 1990s, starting a conversation that initially was normal and pleasant. They recognized each other, and then going into a dressing room and violently raping her. So that was outlined by E. Jean Carroll last week. She was cross-examined by Trump's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, about the specifics of her accusation. The overall defense strategy was trying to poke any possible holes in the story, grilling her on specifics such as why didn't she scream during the assault and why didn't she call the police afterwards, which I felt based on everything I've read on these back and forths, she pretty much had solid answers for those questions from Joe Tacopina, especially if you understand the reality of sexual assault scenarios. It's really easy to imagine why someone who is in that situation would freeze and not scream or call the police during and after such a horrifying event. So that was much of last week into this week. Heated exchanges at times between Trump's lawyer and E. Jean Carroll about the specifics of her accusation. A reminder, this is not just a defamation case anymore. It's also a civil suit over sexual battery. Well, today, a friend who claims E. Jean Carroll called her right after the alleged event took the stand and supported Carroll's telling of the events. This is huge. To have this type of corroboration is very impactful. Here from Business Insider, a close friend to E. Jean Carroll testified Tuesday that the writer had called her 5 to 7 minutes after she left a Bergdorf Goodman's dressing room where she said Donald Trump raped her in the 1990s. From the witness stand in Manhattan federal court at the trial against the former president, Lisa Birnbach, who is a writer herself and best known for penning the official Preppy handbook, said that Carroll told her on the call that she ran into Trump at the luxury department store. Carroll told Birnbach she was helping him shop for a friend when he led her to a dressing room, pinned her against the wall, and penetrated her with his penis, she testified. Birnbach said she was feeding her 2 young children dinner at the time and walked out of the room to speak further with Carroll. Quote, I whispered, E. Jean, he raped you, Birnbach recalled on the stand. She said that Carroll didn't use the term rape at all during the call, instead described it as a fight. Birnbach said she encouraged Carroll to go to the police, but Carroll was adamant she didn't want to report the alleged incident. Carroll was hyperventilating and appeared to be still processing while recalling the alleged rape. Birnbach said, and then it continues, Carroll didn't want to go to the police and was just horrified by it all. Of course, afraid of someone as powerful as Trump, and made Birnbach promise she wouldn't tell anyone. And apparently I've heard about a second friend who was also told about this event way back when and might take the stand as well, which is pretty devastating for Trump's defense, because not that it's impossible, but it's a lot harder to conceive of for a jury, 3 separate people all committing perjury to frame Trump rather than just one person or even 2 people as is present now. And then the other thing that happened in court today was a second woman who is alleging that Trump groped her, took the stand to establish that this is a pattern for Trump. This is from ABC News. A businesswoman testified Tuesday in E. Jean Carroll's civil defamation and battery case against former President Donald Trump that Trump had groped her during a flight to New York in 1979. And what Carroll's attorney said showed a pattern of behavior on Trump's part. So in one day, you have both someone saying decades ago they were called by E. Jean Carroll and told exactly what she's now alleging today, and someone else saying he also groped her, and developing, as the article noted, that pattern. That is really devastating for Trump. We'll see how Trump's legal team responds during the cross-examination, but pretty stunning stuff. And this is a massive case, a civil trial relating to the alleged rape of someone by a former president and current presidential candidate. I will say, by the way, I think a lot of you guys, or a lot of you all will relate to this. It's pretty hard not to have echoing in my head during this whole process, the Access Hollywood tapes. Trump saying in those tapes, he just grabs women by the genitals. And then this is going on. That was brought up, by the way, by E. Jean Carroll's attorney. And it definitely doesn't help Trump's case at all. I'll continue to follow this story.